2025 is so tough on tablet gamers, but probably for the best reason that could be the struggle of options. And what I have here and what this video is a first impression on the RedMagic Astra. I've been having it for a little over a week now. As someone that has the Y700 Gen 4, I'm probably in a particularly good position to give you some inputs if I can secure my victory. See, I'm supposed to film a video, and right now, I'm not gonna lie, I'm more focused on what is happening. And we lost. I do have the G9 and that review is ready. I just need to film it. It's going to be coming hopefully soon. There's also going to be a RedMagic Astra full review, and I would hope to do a comparison between the two down the road as well. It's tough. It's really tough. Two options really for peak performance gaming tablets on the market, and much like it is the case with the Y700, with this one, we do have the Snapdragon 8 Elite in this tablet as well. And in terms of performance, of course, it's been stellar, much it is the case with the Y700. However, in many instances, I have found that I can achieve usually a little bit better in terms of performance with the Y700. Not that it would matter. We are such at a ceiling that, you know, it's hard to almost see it as a positive. It doesn't really matter what I throw at this tablet. It's just going to play beautifully. And one of the big benefits with this one in particular, at least in my opinion, the software, it's better rounded, especially for power users. So many settings that will ultimately give you a superior experience. For example, the ability to keep active mode, which will prevent anything from bothering your session. Having the MJoy option where you can map on the screen. Like, you have so many settings with the app, and I understand that maybe not everything is going to work absolutely perfect, but it's going to work great. You also have things that we don't find in the Lenovo option in general, like for example the frame generation, which is an option that you can find just here, which is called the superior pic quality, and that'll increase the resolution. You have one for frames, you have one for resolution, exactly like the LSS and frame generation on PC. So that's another cool thing that you have. One thing though is we only have one USB-C, which is not the case with the Y700, and indeed it has been proven to be an issue because the USB-C itself is not centered, so that's going to be one problem. And then the other problem is that the power button is right next to the other end of it. And so it's not the case with what I was trying a moment ago, which is the Razer Kishi V3 Pro, phenomenal controller to pair with the RedMagic Astra. But if, for example, I take here the X5 Lite, which logically speaking would kind of align itself a little bit better because the USB-C is on the left. But the problem with this one is that the moment you move, you're more likely to hit the power button. And eventually you could be playing, not realizing, and it will shut because it's going to keep it activated. And eventually it's just going to shut your tablet altogether. So one of the better options that I have been using the RedMagic Astra with, the X5S. There are stick caps here. I'm just going to remove them. It's essentially the X5 Lite on steroids. And this one, because it doesn't have a USB-C, it is Bluetooth based. I can just pull it like this. And it's essentially like the Shadow Blade 3, except the Shadow Blade 3, which is made by GameSir, by the way, is kind of a slightly different rebranded X5S. Now, the one issue is the X5S is not currently available in the worldwide market. And there's also a review coming out for this. Right now, it's only available in China. I obtained mine through Superbuy. You can probably get it from Taobao as well. But yes, that would definitely want to be the best option at the time being. And you can change your mode. So right now I'm on the GameCube, the Nintendo Switch mode, which also works with the Nintendo Switch 2 and it has HG Rumble. But anyways, this video is not about the X5S. It's about your tablet. I still believe, after having both, that the Y700 does have some benefits over the RedMagic Astra, which I'll cover in a future video. The OLED panel, as much as I wanted to make myself believe that I don't need it, and you know, in some capacity I don't if I just move to the other tablet, but if we're to play at max frame rate, which is the case with Dredge, this chip can do it. So you're going to max out your panel, right? There is such a quality in, yes, okay, the vibrancy of the color, deeper blacks, that is all nice. That is all fun. But really the main thing for me, which I think is a big benefit over the Y700, is actually the pixel clarity, the frame clarity. From one frame to another, there is so much less response time on OLED, and that's why your frames are delivered so much faster. It looks smoother. And even though the Astra has a lower resolution than the Y700, it kind of doesn't really feel like it does when you look at them both. And again, the reason for that is because of OLED. OLED is just so good at preventing per pixel light leakage, which makes it so that your image tends to look a higher resolution if you compare it one-to-one with something in the LCD tech, and that is 100% the case here. It's shocking how good this panel looks. As much as having a great SoC is, of course, what I would consider personally to be the number one thing I want when picking a device, the panel is easily the second one. As far as like getting the impression that you're getting an upgrade, the panel will do such a convincing job at providing you with a superior experience, even if you have to make with some compromises. I really have been struggling to determine which one do I like best. Would I miss the Astra if I was to sell it and keep only the Y700? And would I miss the Y700 if I was to sell it and keep only the Astra? Either way, they're both two great options, and I just wanted to put some thoughts out there. This is a very different video for me because I literally have zero structure. I'm excited for them, and I'm building myself up to make reviews of them both. I'm here thinking I don't want to get rid of any of the two because they are so great, but for different reasons. Yeah, it's tough. There are certain things that I haven't been disappointed by, but I also haven't been impressed with. And I would say the first thing is the audio. It's definitely not what I would consider bad or unacceptable. It's one area that, from a quick listen at least, I would give the point to the Y700, but I'm gonna have to like spend more time listening to a lot of different content, a lot of different tunes. But one of the massive benefits that this has over the Y700, it has Widevine L1, proper Widevine L1. For some reason, the Y700, whenever I go into dev check to check my Widevine version, it does show Widevine L1, but when I boot Netflix, it's not crisp, sharper, higher resolution. So that's another key benefit that you have here. But in all fairness, I'm comparing a Chinese version Y700 Gen 4 to what is a full-fledged international version of the RedMagic Astra. I wish we knew when the Y700 will be available for the international market, but if you know that you're going to be using that tablet specifically for media viewing, if nothing changes with the Y700, I think the Astra will actually win. As much as I love the Astra for gaming, if it's for gaming exclusively, it's kind of tough. They trade so many blows. This to me has the better software. The Y700 has the better performance. This has the better panel. The Y700 has the best flexibility by having a micro SD, by having two USB-Cs, which comes in clutch so much. There are so many different scenarios where the Y700 just shines because of having those two USB-Cs, and one of the main ones is 100% emulation. Right now, I'm using the Citra emulator with the 3D mode activated. And what I can do is plug XR glasses here to have 3D effect super large. It's so glorious. I wish everyone could try this. Honestly, I'm so glad that we have a whole generation of 3D games to tap into without all the struggles that make 3D challenging on the 3DS. Now, right now, if you plug XR glasses to this and you go 3D, it's phenomenal across the board. But you're dealing with that one USB-C, and sometimes it's conflicting. If I want to, it's kind of convenient that I have an X5S, but if I wanted to do that with the Razer controller, I would struggle. And there's many reasons why I like to use the Razer controller as opposed to this one, or sometimes I also like to use the Absolute S8, which I covered not too long ago in First Impression, and will soon review a retail unit. But my point is, the moment you start introducing controllers, if you're not going Bluetooth, you'll have issues. And if you're going Bluetooth, okay, some controllers, it's not the end of the world, but some controllers, it's going to be problematic. Or some types of games, you'd rather have a one-to-one kind of experience, and you're not going to have that here. If I'm using XR glasses, which I love, especially when doing the 3DS emulation, but not exclusively. I like just XR in general because it's going to give me a larger screen, more pleasant, cozy, kind of intimate experience with my gaming or viewing of whatever I'm watching. But if I'm doing that, the Y700's panel is no longer an issue. Everything else that it has ultimately becomes a benefit towards that specific use. And I get that this specific use is not necessarily going to be what everyone will do, but it's ultimately something that is, in my opinion, a huge benefit that you have with the Y700. Then, of course, you also have the micro SD. That to me is less important, but I understand the value of having it nonetheless. So yes, all that to say, guys, I feel like I'm going in so many directions because, well, truly, I'm working without a structure, as I mentioned, and that was kind of the goal of the video. I wanted to get you guys' feedback. I wanted to put this out there and just show the RedMagic Astra while being used. You know, what does it look like? And if you pair it with an X5S, I can also do awesome things like that. Situation I explained with the USB-C in that specific scenario wouldn't be a problem anymore, but again, it's such a specific use case here that I'm doing. That works also very, very well, which you can also do with the Shadow Blade 3. Unfortunately, I don't have the Shadow Blade 3. I just thought it was a little too expensive, especially having had the X5S. I think if I didn't have the X5S, I probably would have picked up the Shadow Blade. But I did like the thought of having a controller that is membrane, which is the case with the X5S, as opposed to the Shadow Blade 3, which uses micro switch buttons. But it also has extra paddles up top and RGB. So yeah, I don't know. I might pick it up at some point. I haven't decided yet. That is it, guys. I just wanted to show you what it looks like and how versatile and flexible that this tablet can be, but also some thoughts on which one should you get and why, and ultimately what could be the better pick. You know, what would be the motives, some of the motives why you might lean towards the Y700 and why the Astra might just reign supreme. And I revert back to what I was saying earlier. If you are looking for media, if you know that you're going to be watching a lot of Netflix, Amazon Prime, Disney Plus, like if your media is YouTube, doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter at all. But if we're talking like, you know, those streaming websites, because you don't have access to Widevine L1, you're not going to get the full high resolution experience for your media viewing. That's definitely something that you want to keep in mind. I'll be working on a full-fledged review in the coming weeks and give you guys my inputs if you should pick this up, if it's worth it, if you should rather go for the Y700, maybe wait for the international version, or maybe go for something completely different. I'll try to touch base on all that. As I was saying, I have been working and have come to a completion for my Y700 review, which will include some thoughts on the G9 as well. I'm going to keep playing. I've been doing so much Android gaming lately, thanks to these two tablets. Thank you very much for watching, guys, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.